it's not just a job. I don't I don't really want to work anymore. Like I really don't like working. Like I mean, I don't want to say that. I shouldn't be lazy. Even the Bible condemns laziness. I want to love work, but I want to balance my work with my dreams. Okay, I have dreams. Like I know I'm no different from most people. I get it. Before anyone comments, "Oh, you're not special. We all deal with it." I get it, but I'm not the average man. I'm below average, and I'm trying to climb up to be average. And in a way, I'm in a unique situation. I definitely do believe that wholeheartedly. And what's most important is what God wants for me more than anything else. But I don't seem to have that connection with God, so I don't know what God wants me for in my life. And to be honest, like I'm surprised that I've lived this long. Like I mean, I haven't been alive that long. I'm gonna be 23 the next couple of months or so. But part of me is like, if God is still letting me live, like He definitely has a purpose for me. But what is closest to what He wants me to do? Does God want me to just rashly make decisions and just give up everything? These are the thoughts that come in my head. It's like if you tell me to just give up everything and live out homeless and follow the wind, I don't think so. Should I be patient and keep my day job until and really save up enough until I have enough to possibly, you know, move to a better environment, I should say. Should my next move be quitting my job or planning to quit and working multiple jobs and stacking up money? These are just things I think about because I do want to quit my job, my current job, landscaping. I do want to quit it. Like, it's it is laborious. I do want to work something that's less laborious, less strenuous on my body. Plus the fact that I don't have a car, so I gotta either walk or bike home. The times are very irregular. When I was working at KFC, it was 8 to 4. I wouldn't really stay past 4 unless I really had like a bunch of stuff to do. Like it would be very rarely when I would work a day shift. It'll be past 4. And when I worked night shift, I would come in at 4, and I would leave around 12 or whenever everything is done. Basically, we can leave. But with my current landscaping job, it seems pretty irregular. Like it's not. It could be anywhere from as early as 2 to as late as 7. Lately, they've been cutting the hours back, which doesn't really benefit me because it changes my paycheck from what would be 520 to 450. So it's like I get an hour break. I get an hour break, so it'll be like I'll be working from like 7 to 3. instead of 7 to 5. So that'll be like 10 hours off my it's 2 times 5. Yeah, it'll be like about 10 hours off my, paycheck. And it's like I'm still doing the same labor, just not as long, I guess. I mean, regardless, I know I could do more, man. I could pump out. I could be researching more about, the truth behind Islam. You know, these arguments that Muslims make for Islam, like, oh, it's a perfect monotheistic religion. It's he came with the same. Prophet Muhammad came with the same message as every other great religious figure, like Moses and Jesus and Abraham and Noah and such and such. The Quran has always been preserved. Islam is the most natural religion. First of all, the most natural religion wouldn't be the. Not only do I disagree that it's the most natural religion, but even if it was, like, it being natural shouldn't be an argument because I don't think God would make a religion that's natural to man because men are naturally selfish and sinful. I mean, we're naturally pretty effed up. We get addicted to things. We do immoral acts. We can be violent. We can be manipulative. That's human nature, and the God of the Bible, is very much against human nature. That's why I think Christianity is like the true religion because it forces you to be good, to really be good, like loving your enemies. That's something most people can't do. Deny yourself. That's something most people can't do. Now, in Islam, yes, there are things that relate to denying the self, but I mean, there's no buck. I don't really have an argument, but it's not really. I would say Christianity is not really that clear cut in what it wants you to deny. It just says deny yourself. Well, unless it's sin, of course. Unless it's sin, of course. Um, but the I th- what I'm looking at with Islam is that it's the ones that don't really have much knowledge. Those are the ones that are like really strict with their religion and the ones that seem to be all pious and everything. And they have all these rules, but the deeper you go into Islamic theology, the more you realize that it is kind of a do as thou wilt, if the situation commands it. That's why Islam has all these things related to sex and sexual acts and heaven. Nothing will be haram in heaven or something like that. But yeah, of course, Islam does allow violence. Like, unless it's like another Muslim brother, I think that's like violence that's prohibited. But violence towards outsiders is perfectly fine in Islam if the situation commands it. It's really messed up because like I'm at a point where I don't even like fully understand why I left Islam. It's like I know I was kind of atheistic for a point in my time, and then I became interested in Christianity. Like I was really into Christianity for some reason, but I didn't fully commit myself to it because I was afraid what my Muslim family would say. But I know like I was very atheistic and gnostic for I was mainly Gnostic more than atheistic. Like I think a typical atheist would just doesn't really care about religion in general. Even though I don't think it's more so like that. I think they are actively like against religion, but for me it was just okay, I can't. I guess I can't really say I'm so much different, but I know I had a thing with God. Like I just didn't. I just disliked God for some reason, and yeah, it's like part of my rebellion was to like hate on people who would have children because like oh if you're having children you're you're like promoting God's world, his corrupt world. This is the mentality that I had before, and so I was, and then I became all black pilled. So it's like at the same time, like I hated the idea of like having a family. It was weird. I hate the idea of starting a family, but at the same time, I longed for a woman. It just doesn't make sense, man. Like it doesn't make sense. It's like it, humans just don't make sense sometimes. It's like it's with Judas. Like you were with Jesus for 3 years, and then all of a sudden you want to betray him for 20 pieces of silver. It just doesn't make sense. David, he was he was preaching or singing all these songs about how much he loved God and how wise his connection with God was, and then all of a sudden he devises this plan on how to sleep with someone's wife. Who else? Like Paul murdered or persecuted hundreds of Christians, and he ends up being one of the greatest followers of Christ. Humans don't really make much sense a lot of times. Like I don't know. It's like Esau sold his birthright for a single meal. Jacob was a deceiver. With my respects to the prophet Jacob, but yeah, he did do a lot of deception. I mean, a lot of the things in the Bible, like they just seem kind of like it's like they're righteous men. They're righteous men, but then all of a sudden they do something that's so out of character. But it's like God knows human nature, so it's like I guess to put it plainly, I don't want to follow a religion. Okay, I don't like praying, having to pray 5 times a day in an Islamic form. Like I'm trying to. I've actually been slack off my Christian prayers as well, but I have been praying consistently, but not as much as I should. But I guess yeah, I was over consumed with materialism. I dislike God. Like it's not even like I just put him off. Like I actually dislike God. Like I disliked religion in general, and like I did believe in a God, and I just disliked him. Like why did you create this world? This world is so horrible. Like I don't know, man. Like I know life. It's like life is definitely more than just food and sex and money and stuff, but those things matter to me so much. It's the flesh, man. It's the flesh. Gotta crucify the flesh. I'm telling you, man. Like, I don't like this about myself. I'm telling you, I don't like this about myself. But sometimes I really just don't like. I don't like being around women because like I always fantasize about having sex with them. Especially if they're attractive, of course. If they're reasonably attractive, I get so sexually frustrated when I'm around so much woman. Like they're giggling with their boyfriends or giggling with other girls, and it's like I'm over here just alone, not. Oh my god! Like I Stone Mountain Park, and girl with a big old booty and long legs, 5'9", 5'10" tall, or if their boyfriend was like the same height or maybe a little bit taller. It's like, eh, am I really that much below that? Am I really that much below that? Are you kidding me? Oh god.